Welcome, everyone, to our Salon number 60. It's amazing that we've done 60 of these. The Gifts of the Motherful Movement with Heidi Howes and Lisa Woodward. The series is hosted by the International Feminists for a Gift Economy. We're just so happy to have you all here with us. I'm Letecia Layson, your moderator. I'll give a short introduction to our speakers today, and then I'll turn the mic over to Jen, who will do just a short introduction to today's session, and then she'll turn the mic over to Heidi and Lisa. So let's begin. Heidi Howes is the co-founder and co-director of Motherful, the mother of 3 children ages 19, 17, and 18 months. Heidi is a healing artist, musician, writer, and co-organizer whose passion is to create support and healing for mothers, communities, and the world. Lisa Woodward was born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. She's a modern dancer and a proud mother of 3, a true jack of all trades. She relocated to New York City in 1999, where she worked in fashion and was introduced and fell in love with as a supporting personal assistant. Since then, her client task lists include bookkeeping, administration, events, travel, but her passion right now is she, as co-founder, and directs a nonprofit called Motherful that supports single mamas in Columbus, Ohio. Motherful supports, educates, and provides resources, community wellness, and art in the local community. So I'd like to welcome them and also welcome Genevieve Vaughan. For those of you who don't know Genevieve Vaughan, she is the primary catalyst and instigator for us coming together. She is an author of many books and the theorist who developed the maternal gift economy. So Genevieve?
Thank you, Letecia, and thank you, Heidi and Lisa, for coming and joining us today. We're particularly happy to have you because people are always wondering, how do we practice the gift economy? And we practice it in a lot of different ways, but this way that you all are doing it is particularly great at this period of time in history. And it's a good example for all of us to admire and follow. So thank you so much for coming, and welcome to our salon, and have at it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We're so honored to be here today, and we are so blessed to have connected with you, Jen and Letecia, and thank you, Diane, thank you, Liliana, for having us and supporting this today. So I wanted to start by just sharing, Lisa and I met in 2013, and we were doing an emotional intelligence training together, and we connected about being single mothers. We also connected on our creativity and spirituality, and we talked about, I'd had a vision in 2011 when I became a single mother, and the vision was a co-housing project where single moms could live together and support each other with the maternal labor of mothering. Because I moved into a duplex where next to another single mother. That was my first residence outside of my marriage. And it was extremely helpful because when you have small children, if you need to run to the store or you need to take one child to the ER, it's really helpful to have someone who, is able to take the other child or just watch your children for a little bit. So that was my initiation into single motherhood. I had a sister friend next door who supported me. And when I moved away from that, I really felt the absence of it. So Lisa and I connected on single motherhood, and I told her about my vision, and she had similar visions.
Yeah, yeah. I was I had similar visions. I was a teen mom. So I graduated high school pregnant and started on that journey, raised by a single mom. Um it I was lucky enough to be very uh good at finding research. I loved researching. So I was able to move through the system and the humps and pretty easily. But when I started to have all my other kids, there just wasn't enough resources out there for moms. And so I met Heidi and we wanted to kind of bring all of them together and make a spreadsheet. That was our only goal in this. We've gotten way farther than that, but we just wanted to make a list of support. So that's how it started out with Motherful.
Yeah, we finally started in 2018, 5 years after we met. We finally came together and said it's time. And we started to gather single moms that we knew and to invite them to dinner with their children, so that we could create community. So the original, what we started was community dinners. And we formed our 501c3 so that we could collect resources and distribute them to other moms, because we knew that that was extremely important. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
And we would have these dinners and we would have themes. We would have different speakers and a way to connect and talk about issues that single moms were having. And we would start to do this in different locations around the Central Ohio area, so we can start to get moms from all different sides of town.
Yeah, so we're going to share first. I want to share this short video with y'all. It's one of our promotional videos, and it shares our organizational narrative. So it's pretty delightful. Here you go. Let us know if we need to shift anything.
At Motherful, we are a soulful collective, a maternal force of nature, urging you to pull from every corner of who you are, fully empowering you to be unapologetically you and everything you're destined to be. Motherful serves as a source of power, a home away from home, where respect lives and love flourishes, where you and yours are in your element, embracing vulnerability, sharing strength, and celebrating play. We are single moms, but many women. Badass warriors and gentle nurturers. Passionate fighters and proud matriarchs all at once, fortifying bonds and fulfilling the health and happiness of our families. Fighting selflessly and selfishly for the ones we love. Facing uncomfortable truths and saying fuck you to the stigmas thrust upon us. And when things get tough, we give more of ourselves and dig even deeper, bringing every piece and every part of who we are. Because when we do, the world gets better. That's why we care. We create. We fight. Like a mother.
Yeah, so that video, we were really lucky to win a contest to get about $200,000 worth of direct branding support, in which we did a brand camp where we had a marketing agency come here and spend like a few months with us, and then 2 days all day long where we had like a staff of 30, and we went in and we created our new branding. So we're really happy with it.
Okay, so we're just going to go along this PowerPoint that we have to share with you what we've built in the last 5 years. So you heard the narrative. We're a fierce community that fights for single mothers, giving them a restorative sense of self and unbreakable belonging. And this is, again, the narrative, which we love. And here's another video, a little bit more about us. We love these videos, so we just want to share.
Motherful is a place where single mothers go to find help, to find support.
We have a food pantry. We have a community garden. We have a center where we can meet and come together. We have programming around empowering moms, both personally and politically.
I first wanted to create something for single moms when I met Heidi. We were both single moms, and we talked about how hard it is to find resources.
I was feeling all the overwhelm of, doing this by myself. And she really helped me to kind of ease in. So if I had to go to the store for some groceries or take a kid to the doctor in the middle of the night, I could leave the other one with her, or vice versa. She could do the same with me. And at the time I thought, why don't all single moms just do this?
Like, you can just come and sit down at a table and not even pick up food. You can just be in community with other people who know your struggle, who know what you're going through, and can provide a shoulder to lean on and an ear to listen to you and warm arms to hug you.
It's about being kind. It's about being there for one another. There's so much you do without as a single mom. You ignore your needs. The smallest acts really give back to people a great deal.
It's really changing my perspective of being a single mom in general.
I can be something more, and I am something more than what the world says I am.
It's a collective of single moms, but you're not a single mom. You're a person. It's just like a home.
Motherful is love.
Love.
Powerful.
Community.
Everyone really just taking you in, really accepting.
They're so open to the community.
We're a group of really powerful, revolutionary moms. We are warriors.
It's going to become a staple in the community. I really, truly believe that.
If you support a single mom and get her thriving and nurtured, her children will be nurtured. And that creates a bright future for everyone.
So one of the things you see here is that we do a lot of activism in our community as well. This is our giant peace dove that we call Mov, the mother dove, and we've taken her to many actions since the uprisings of 2020, the Black Lives Matter uprisings, and of course, many actions happening up to this day. And we shared our creation story. And I just want to highlight this, that Motherful was born from a desire to create an organization that would provide a respite of community for single mothers and their children, where they would be understood and supported both emotionally and physically. Do you want to share this one, Lisa?
Yeah. 1 second. We do a lot of tabling around the community, which is awesome. This is one of our setups at an event. And Motherful is a Black, Indigenous, mothers of color led, multiracial, grassroots collective of single mothers in Columbus, Ohio, whose mission is to support, empower, and nurture single mother families through community, education, resources, art, and wellness. We're founded in 2018 by single mothers, for single mothers. Motherful is a living, breathing, radical vision of collective future of motherhood. Our collective currently we have 577 members, and we're growing. We're growing.
Mm-hmm. Our vision is to create a motherful world in which all mothers and their children are valued, Sorry, I'm getting emotional. This is awesome. Nurtured, supported, and cared for, where single mothers never again feel alone, abandoned, cast aside, stigmatized, or marginalized systemically or personally. We seek to build a safe, intentional community where single mothers joyfully and peacefully work together, uplift each other, and share an abundance of resources in a collaborative, equitable collective. Our mission, again, is Motherful supports, empowers, and nurtures single mother families and their families in Columbus, Ohio, with resources, community, education, arts, and wellness. So we really wanted to, when we founded our organization, we really wanted to base our organization on solid values. And so in 2020, we did a poll of our community. We did a listening poll of our community about our values. And I want to acknowledge that this is a living document and we're continuing to update it. And we're open to suggestions. And this is what we have now. I think we probably need to update these, especially since we've come across the work of Heidi and Gettner Abendroth and Genevieve and many of you. We are really moving towards, and we are a matriarchal organization. And so our values get to be aligned with the matriarchy that we are creating, all of us together. So we believe all single mothers are sacred and worthy of support. We believe in valuing the work of mothers. We believe in an inclusive representative democracy, which includes acknowledging the damages inflicted on Black Americans through enslavement and post-emancipation exclusionary policies, acknowledging the damages inflicted on Indigenous people through colonialism, protecting and upholding voting rights, championing and fighting for civil rights and human rights, support for reparations. We believe in LGBTQIA rights. We believe in strong public education.
We believe in healthcare for all. We believe in reparative justice. We believe in reproductive justice and freedom. We believe in justice reform and rehabilitation. We believe in LGBTQIA rights. We believe in strong public education.
We believe in religious and spiritual freedom. We believe in equitable economic prosperity for all, which includes paid family leave, equal pay for women and femmes, particularly women of color, acknowledging and addressing racial inequity, access to affordable housing and childcare, food security, workforce policies and labor force equity. We believe in humanitarian crisis support, which includes supporting immigrant and refugee neighbors, volunteering for local humanitarian aid requests.
We believe in safe communities and healthy relationships, which includes stronger common sense gun laws, support for survivors of domestic and gun violence, support of survivors of sexual assault and abuse. We believe in upholding disability rights, which includes equitable transportation, equal opportunity to employment and education, access to affordable health care, workforce development. We believe in a thriving and sustainable environment, which include clean air, water, and parks, access to outdoor community spaces, homes free of toxins and poison chemicals, access to affordable and sustainable energy sources.
So the goals of our organization at this time are: 1, to substantially improve the material conditions and financial security of single mother families from barely surviving to thriving. 2, to substantially improve the health and wellness of single mothers and their families. 3, to substantially improve the communal care of single mothers and their families. 4, to promote and substantially impact justice for single mother families through racial, gender, environmental, economic, and maternal justice initiatives. And 5, to amplify the voices and stories of single mothers, building power for single mothers. And here we are, the co-founders, myself and Lisa. You already met us. And you can check out our board at our website, which is www.motherful.org. We are primarily, we say BIMOC, Black, Indigenous, and Mothers of Color led organization centering the experiences of mothers of color. And this is our organizational chart, which shows how we have built our organization as a non-hierarchical, matriarchal collective. So you can see we've chosen a circle, and we have our board of directors, which currently has 3 members, and we primarily consult our Matriarchs Council, which is comprised of 11 members of our community, 11 single mothers in the community. So their input is of utmost importance, and they also are in charge of supporting the community at large. And that's, as of this coming year, an elected position. We also have the co-directors and staff, our collective members, our supporters and donors, and our volunteers.
Yeah, and many of these slides, you'll see us wearing overalls. It's our uniform. We love overalls. It's our style. Just throwing that in there.
Yes. And we wanted to share that we've also built our organization on the matriarchal model, which is outlined in Heidi Abendroth's Societies of Peace. So the economic level of the matriarchal model is the societies of economic reciprocity, balanced by gift-giving economy. The maternal gift economy. At the social level, founded on motherhood and based on the clan, non-hierarchical horizontal societies of matrilineal kinship. The political level, egalitarian societies of consensus, gender egalitarian, and for the level of culture, worldview, and spirituality, sacred societies and cultures of the divine feminine. And so we strive to build our organization on this model. This is part of a PowerPoint where we did a presentation on respecting mothers in the workplace and the world, building matriarchal businesses for a better tomorrow, with an entrepreneurial group that we are part of. And I just wanted to share this because I wanted to highlight what we're striving for in our organization, to center our mothering and inclusion for mothers, which, as you can imagine, in a patriarchal, colonial, white supremacist, capitalist environment, takes work for us to do. But here are some of the things that we do at Motherful to center mother leaders, particularly ourselves, because we are the primary staff at this time. But we in case this is helpful to y'all, we utilize flexible work hours and remote work. So we center our mothering and ourselves and our children first. Children are always welcome. Children are, childcare is provided for our mothers when we do events. And also we support each other in the childcare. We move at the speed of trust, which is a quote from Adrienne Marie Brown. Moving at the speed of trust means that we don't hurry and hustle for the sake of growth. We also prioritize childcare. And then we have a non-exploitative value system where we maintain a 32-hour work week. And again, we normalize children at work and we normalize mothering. You want to share this, Lisa?
Yes, the Matriarchs Council. This is our first year doing a Matriarchs Council, and it's a year-long professional leadership development cohort. It started off with about 20 moms this season, and we ended with about 11 that went through all 12 months. So we have monthly meetings and an annual retreat and committee-led assignments within the organization. Matriarchs will learn the ins and outs of organizing, building, while moving the Motherful collective vision and mission. So we had our first retreat this year, which was awesome. And this year we plan to launch a new Matriarchs Council in June, in which our moms get to run for seats on the council. So it's really great that we can have both a board of directors and a matriarch council to make decisions.
Yes, and you can see all the members of our Matriarchs Council at our website. Also, our Instagram is a very lively place. And on Instagram, we are at motherful_org. So I encourage you to follow us there, because that's where a lot of our up-to-date things are happening. So we also focus on wellness is one of the pillars of our organization, the bodies of work. And these are just a couple of examples of how we do that. our healing and wellness. We have sound baths and energy healing every Sunday at our open house, which is when our pantry and our resource center are open to the whole community of single mothers. So any single mother can come on Sundays from 10 to 12. And ironically, I just want to share this really quickly because I know some of you will appreciate it. I'm a devotee of the Divine Mother, and I'm a shamanic practitioner. And when I was told by in my dreams and in my work to build a temple for single mothers, I never thought we would be actually having our open house on Sunday mornings. So it really is an extension of that. So every Sunday we have our healer, Jay Hollingshed, who does personal sessions for about 20 minutes for moms who need it. And then we also have sound baths. We also have different healing, like the retreats. And then we've been to a local salt cave. We've done different things dealing with wellness, and we're continuing to look for more opportunities to center the wellness of single moms and to give single moms the opportunity. And when we did our retreat in a place called the Hocking Hills here in Ohio, a beautiful place in Ohio, a lot of the moms shared that they had never been away from their children to have an experience like that. And we made sure to have a massage therapist, and everyone got a massage, and we had wonderful food and the hot tub and the sauna, and we took hikes, and it was just a beautiful time. But especially beautiful because it was a kind of healing experience that most of moms had never experienced. Yeah, share about the pantry, Lisa.
Yeah, so our pantry, we share a youth center. When we first started having the community dinners, we made friends with a local youth center where we had a dinner, and since then they've given their space to us as an in-kind donation for 4 years. So we turned the garage into our full pantry. We are connected with Trader Joe's. There's 2 locations here, so we get food every single day from Trader Joe's here, which stocks our pantry with all the yummy foods. We have commercial fridges, 2 of them. We have a commercial freezer, and then we have a regular freezer fridge combo and shelving. We just opened a free store in the back of our pantry where moms can shop. We get a lot of donations. The community donates all the time. It also houses our diaper bank, and we have a laundry soap refillery as well at our inside of our food pantry.
Mm-hmm.
We have a bookcase of different toiletry items that are available. We have a menstrual cabinet that's stocked with cups and tampons and pads. And we just try to stay stocked with all the things that would support our single moms.
Yeah, I just want to highlight that Lisa has been the visionary of our pantry and our resource center. And she's been just innovating so much. But everything that we do is free for moms, for the single moms. On Sundays, any mom can come. And then when they join, when they become a member, which is really, there's an intake form, and they agree to our values. And they agree to be a part of the reciprocity of the community and to give back what they can. Take what you need, give what you can. And we are feeding 100 families a week right now. And that is really phenomenal. So many of our moms are able to afford their rent because they don't have to buy groceries. But because many single mothers will not receive supplemental food assistance if they're making what's the cutoff, like $1,400 a month or something, you don't get food stamps anymore. So the fact that we've centered the food security piece because it frees moms up from that stress, and we're also able to find a source of food that's not connected to the local food banks, so we don't have to ask moms for their IDs when they come. So that means that undocumented folks can come through and they don't have to worry about that. And also we have an independent source of food from the food banks, so we don't have to deal with the logistics of reporting to someone. with that. So we were really proud of the food pantry. And we're also giving, unlike many other pantries, we're giving primarily produce, primarily organic produce, organic meats, dairy, and fruits. And so it's very little shelf stable, actually. It's primarily fresh foods, which is many of our moms live in food deserts where they cannot access fresh foods, and the only foods that they're able to shop would be from convenience stores, which are processed foods that are not life-giving.
Yeah.
This
Our
shares
freezer is, I was gonna say, our freezer is stacked with salmon and all the yummy meats, fishes, and organic chicken, which is awesome.
Yeah, you can see the lovely, beautiful produce in these food boxes that we, moms who don't have transportation, other moms take boxes to them.
And during COVID, we used to make boxes, and moms would just drive up and we would put them in their car. So that's when we started our food program on the onset of COVID, which was just in the nick of time.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is just a shot of our community garden, which continues to grow. And we have about 16 beds?
Yeah, 16 raised beds. This year we're planting all medicinal herbs, so we can use the herbs for tinctures, salves, or tea. We also now have a close farm that's about a few miles away from our location that brings us more fresh produce as well. So we love it.
Here's more about the Mama Shop and Swap. You want to share about that, Lisa?
So we get a lot of donations, and we were doing quarterly big giant swaps where we would use the youth center or the driveway to have a giant thing, which is amazing. We have household items, toys, all the categories that a thrift store would have, in a sense. We also are partnered with the Goodwill that comes bi-weekly and takes the items that we went through and no one wanted, and they give us gift cards when it's time to shop for back to school clothes and camp clothes for our moms.
So we also have, every Sunday morning, we have different resources coming to our center. So moms can, for example, access the Justice Mobile, which is a legal support, free legal support from a lawyer who's created this nonprofit. And of course, many single moms have many issues with their legal issues. And so it's just great to be able to support them in, estate planning even, or because that's very important. In fact, we just lost a mom who left behind 2 young girls about a week ago. And so we were always supporting moms to, get those things that they need, including legal. And we just recently started a partnership with a women's health mobile.
Yeah, through public health.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming every third Sunday, and right there in our driveway, moms can get pap smears, birth control, testing. So that's really amazing too.
Mm-hmm.
We touch on all the things.
Mm-hmm. So we're very much involved in activism and organizing in our local community. This is just one example of, the Columbus Police Department kills Black people at a very, very high rate statistically. And just in the fall, Takaya Young was a pregnant 21-year-old mother who was murdered in a Kroger parking lot by a police officer. And it was a very tragic case. There are many, many Black friends, and also some of our member mothers have had their children killed by the state, murdered by the state unjustly. And so we do try to bring support to those mothers and to bring awareness to these causes. This is our ceasefire statement that we made at our Columbus City Council. Over the past 6 months, we have worked to bring awareness to the horrible genocide in Palestine, and we are have taken, of course, much criticism, and we've lost members, we've lost funding, but we find it imperative that we speak up about not only the genocide in Palestine, but also all the genocides happening in the world, including the genocide happening to African Americans and Indigenous people on this land, on Turtle Island. So wanted to share with you that, you know, we are not silent and we're not shy, even though many are, and we continue to pursue justice and use our voices to call for what's right.
Yes. And just before you move to the next slide, did you hear that song? That's Heidi singing. We have our own songs.
This one's called "Who Will Care for the Mothers?" And you can find this reel on our Instagram. Another exciting thing is that we've released, I believe, the first episode of our brand new podcast, which is called When Mothers Lead, Matriarchy Now. And I believe Heidi is on our second season. And of course, we're going to be asking many of you to come talk with us as well. But When Mothers Lead, Matriarchy Now is a podcast hosted by us. And on the podcast, we talk with mother leaders around the world and matriarchal allies. And you'll hear firsthand stories from moms and understand why it's imperative that we create a matriarchal future. So you can find that on When Mothers Lead on any podcast platform.
Welcome to When
Here's
Mothers
a trailer.
Lead, a podcast created by Motherful, a soulful grassroots collective of single mothers. I'm Heidi.
And I'm Lisa.
And we will discuss how you can be a part of this movement and what the world will look like when mothers lead.
I see the mothers marching. I hear the mothers singing. I feel the mothers grieving. I see the mothers leading. I hear the mothers shouting. I see the mothers dancing. I feel the mothers healing. I see the mothers leading. I see the mothers healing.
Is that it? That might be the end of the PowerPoint. Just wanted to, since we're at the end of that, want to share what some of the initiatives that we're really excited about that are happening right now, currently. First of all, we're over the moon to be connected with the amazing elder scholars, Jen and Letecia and everyone who's in the network that we've been connected to. So grateful because we've been in the trenches doing this work for the last 5 years, and like I mentioned, even in our own city, overlooked by the Women's Fund, overlooked by many of those organizations, and yet we persevere and we continue to march to the beat of our own drum. As I know you all have had to for many, many years. And so we've just been so encouraged by the connections and like it's given us an amazing fuel to continue, So we currently are focused on a guaranteed income program that we're building. We recently became the fiscal sponsor of an organization whom we love in Colorado called Loving Black Single Mothers. And if you would go to them, it's lovingblacksinglemothers.com, and support them, follow them. We love them. But this year, starting in June, there will be 6 Black single mothers in the first cohort of what they're calling Forever Flourishing. And those single mothers will be receiving $2,500 a month, no strings attached. We're calling it a guaranteed thriving income. And 4 of those moms are actually in our collective. We're very, very excited. So overall, they will be receiving $30,000, which, as you can imagine, for many of them living in poverty their whole lives, this will be a huge opportunity to experience a hand up, and a large hand up. And then on top of that, we are working to build Motherful's guaranteed income program, which in the next year, we hope to start with 50 to 100 Black and Brown pregnant and early parenting mothers who will receive $500 a month. That's the goal. And if you'd like to contribute to that, we would love to have you. There is a donate button on our website. Just going to put that in there because we are always looking for supporters. Another
the Loving Black Single Moms, back to that, they are getting the money and they have amenities, like they have a childcare stipend, a health stipend. They get all these other things, financial literacy training, everything like in a whole package. So it's not just the money, it's so much support.
Plus a community, right?
Yeah, plus the community.
Mm-hmm. Another thing we're starting in the summer is one of our second business venture, which is a social enterprise called Plateful, because single moms have their plates full. And we are creating both out of the food that we receive, we are creating prepared meals, prepared family meals. We've partnered with another organization called Service Relief. And they have the expertise to create the menu, with the chefs to create the meals. And so we'll be employing 3 single moms for this project for 6 months. It's a pilot. And in the pilot, we'll be giving away 120 meals per week that are already prepared, because single moms don't have time to cook most of the time. And so we saw that as an issue, even with our fresh food that we were giving away, that many moms couldn't stop with the convenience foods because of time. They're working 2 and 3 jobs. So we need help. We're always looking for volunteers. So we are really excited to start Plateful, because that's also going to emerge as a business that will be public facing, so that folks can purchase a family meal and give a family meal. So it's a buy one, give one model. And after our pilot for the 6 months, then we're going to be opening a storefront, hopefully, or having the food available to the public to purchase, which will also support our operations. We are always looking for scrappy ways to make income, because we are single moms, and that's what single moms do. But Motherful has had to scrape and innovate the entire way. And everything that you see that we've built has been, at least for the first 3 years, not funded at all. It was built on our backs, on our sweat and our magic. And we're so proud of that. And so we're always looking for the creative ways of doing things. What else is happening right now, Lisa?
So moms will come to the pantry, get groceries, and pick up family meals. So it's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. What else do we have?
What else do we do? Our housing project. Oh yeah, the big thing. So the ultimate vision we've shared with you so much of what we've done, and there's so many things that we've done that we haven't shared. We have an emergency fund grant, so moms in the collective can apply for help. We just paid the deposit and rent for a mom who was facing eviction. And because of Motherful, she's got a new house. Lisa walked her through everything, helped her with everything. We were able to generate about $3,000 to give to her, so that she was escaping homelessness with her 3 children and her disabled mother. So we're always looking for housing security solutions because we are in an affordable housing crisis. So Motherful has always dreamed of the eco village that would be somewhat out of town, where we have our farm and our performance space and our community center, and mothers can have their own homes that they own, or that they own together. And that's the big vision. And in the meantime, we have partnered with a developer who also happens to be a mom who was raised by a single mom here in Columbus, Ohio. And her name is Letecia, and she heard our vision for co-housing project, and she approached us and said she wanted to build it with us. And so in 2026, we're planning a 20-unit apartment building on a land bank property in town. And the first floor will be commercial. It'll have our kitchen and our business with Plateful, and we'll also have childcare. And then we're going to have a couple of different models of like single family units inside of the apartment building, and then probably a floor that will be co-housing. So moms and kids will have their own rooms, but they'll have a shared living space. And that's kind of like phase one, or actually probably phase two. In the meantime, we're looking to purchase some duplexes or fourplexes on our own, because this apartment building we will not own at first. Our current last year's budget was $417,000. So we're still looking to build our capacity to be able to own the housing project. But for now, we're partnering in innovative ways that we can. So we just received a donation from a generous donor for $30,000 to support housing justice. And with that $30,000, we're hoping to raise up to 100 so that we can purchase a fourplex. And that $100,000 will be used as a down payment. Or for a fourplex or a duplex or something similar, so that we can have emergency housing for single moms, like the case that I just shared with you, and so that we can also potentially have just build spaces for moms to live together. So the second phase is the apartment building, and the third phase will be our eco village, and we look forward to that.
Yeah, and there's so many ways we could co-live together. So we are working on a big research deep dive with all of our members, finding out their current financial status and their current housing. So this data, we're really collecting a lot of different data points this year. We have a new database so we can track all of our impact and be able to show everyone what moms are coming for, how many people come to our events, how many moms. We also have a map, so we can see where all of our moms live, and you roll over it and you can see the mom's contact information and how many kids they have.
This in April, we're forming our choir. We're putting our choir back together. We have a Motherful choir, and we're also putting together a performance for a local festival, and the performance is going to be monologues in the spirit of vagina monologues, where moms will be able to co-create a show, and we'll also showcase our songs that we write. So we're always looking in ways to enrich the souls of single mothers, alongside feeding our hearts and our bodies. We're feeding our souls.
And we have a giant vagina that we put up at festivals. You can walk through it, you can take pictures. So it's always a hit. It's always a hit. And then our partnership with Pixie Cups, we give menstrual cups. And so that's how our tabling looks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
and that's
we're sometimes we're like, oh, we forgot that, or we forgot that. We're also we just got interviewed by United Way, which is amazing. They're looking at us, and we want to go to the UN. We want international support, and we're just happy to share it with all you guys.
Yeah, and our hope is that single mothers in different cities will be interested in adopting our model and taking our collective blueprint. And we like to say that the future of motherhood is collective. And we are open to suggestions about that as well. We're looking to share our model with moms around the world. And we're also, have a vision of it kind of being like Girl Scouts for single moms. In other countries, it may look different. It may be moms who are married but just need, to support each other. And it looks like San Francisco. Yes, we'd love that. We'd love that. So we're ready, I think, to start being more nationally and internationally known. And we're hopeful that we can create a documentary and a book that can spread the message and spread our work. And we're so grateful that we have connected with you all and that we are able to acknowledge that we have built a real life maternal gift economy. And we hope that we can bring more supporters to bring more resources and more awareness and love to single mothers around the world.
Yes.
Yeah. And we're open to questions and comments and ideas.
That's so beautiful, Heidi and Lisa. We're so excited. We often get the question of how can we begin to implement this in our own lives? And you are providing a model for single mothers, but also it's a model for matriarchy. That all the services that you are identifying are services that are necessary for human livingness, human thriving, and human aliveness. So thank you for doing the the hard groundwork, because it may be that your model will be adapted to spread the word of matriarchy and the gift economy, as we say now, where families will actually come to center with mothers being lifted up. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. So let me just check in with Jen. Do you have a question before we open up for questions to the public? You need to unmute, my friend.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that we are living in patriarchal capitalism, and to be able to do a mother-based organization with maternal values in the middle of patriarchal capitalism is amazing. And you all are doing that, and it is transitional towards a better world altogether. So, I'm just so pleased and honored that you have come to talk about it on our salon. And it's great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing it. I mean, it also proves that the gift economy is right there already out there in the world. So,
yeah, thank you for being thank you, Jen, for sharing your vision and your insights and intuitions about the maternal gift economy, so that we had, we can see ourselves, and we are the praxis, as they say, right? And we are the boots on the ground, and it is it's intense. As you can see, I'm laying in my bed right now with a back injury. I think we have carried a lot, probably more than we should, and we also know the urgency that is the state of motherhood, especially single motherhood for Black single mothers, Indigenous single mothers, Palestinian mothers, and so on and so forth. So we have worked together, and that's why we built a co-directorship, right? And that's why we built a collective, because we knew this isn't something we can do alone, and we need all of you here to also help us continue and make it happen.
Well, I think that actually we're human beings are gift economy beings. They're maternal beings. We're all, as a species, we are a maternal species. And patriarchy and capitalism have been parasitic on that aspect of human, of everyone, not only women, but men as well, had mothers, have had mothers. And so we've all experienced that model and that paradigm. And by moving so far away from it, we have gotten ourselves in the trouble we are now, internationally and nationally and personally, of wars and environmental degradation and all of the most horrible things that are going on. And so this kind of an organization, this kind of a transition towards a better world that accesses our own maternal humanity, is really so necessary for transitioning away from the wars, away from the exploitation and so on. So thank you so much.
Wonderful. Let's check in with Liliana, and then I'll go to Judith to see if there are questions.
Yeah,
Liliana?
there's a couple of people that are excited, and they're offering their help. As you can see it in the chat, Michelle Verter she says, do you need any help? I am a software engineer and I can do web and app development. That's one. And then Cristal Lucado, she says, thank you for sharing and for all that you're doing to support single moms. I would like to support your vision and build in San Francisco. Let's connect and LinkedIn. And then there's a link there that you can connect to. So there's people that are willing to help. Also, there's a question that says, do you think that matriarchal principles come naturally to women, or is it something they have to learn, to both of you?
Yeah. Do you want to start, Lisa?
That's interesting. I think it's both. It's kind of both. There's some things that are that you learn, and some of them and you do automatically, and some just are ways that you never thought about and you adapt into it. So I think it's both.
Yeah. I would say I think that they're kind of driven out of us, so many of us, by patriarchy and capitalism and colonialism. And I think that for myself, I circle back now and look at my mother and how she was just a well of giving, she still is. In fact, my 73-year-old mother came for a month to take care of me when I threw my back out, and which blows my mind. You know, she's constantly giving to us, her children. And I think that we have been programmed to not, give freely, to not be matriarchal. So I personally don't think that it comes naturally to women. In fact, it's one of the things that we've struggled with in our collective is getting other mothers to see. And so what we do is we just lead by example, and we continue to invite them and continue to invite them and continue to invite them to give as well. And this is also a population of mothers who is extremely exploited, extremely lacking in time and resources. And so we understand that. But we continue to invite them to, hey, if you happen to go into a store or you happen to know someone, see if they want to donate something, And so as mothers continue in the collective, they start to pick that up, and then our matriarchs as well. So I don't think it comes naturally. I think it's something that is buried and that we get to awaken.
Jen, would you like to respond to that question from your view and your thoughts on it?
Well, yeah, I think it is. I think it's buried. I think that every child has their mother as a model, and that mother has to give to them unilaterally, otherwise the children die. So all children that have survived have been given to unilaterally before they know how to give back, before they can exchange anything. But that way of of giving and receiving, that unilateral way, is exploited by our capitalism and patriarchy, because the profit that people make is coming from a free gift that people are giving to them as part of what their work is, and as part of their underpaid work is, and as part of the production that they actually do. So, I mean, that what is called surplus labor, for example, by Marx. And so there is a whole level of gifting that's it's unseen, it's invisible, and we don't even know we're doing it, but we are. And the whole system works on taking the gifts of everybody. That is the problem, and they're really not seen. And mothering is exploited. It's not just underpaid. It is a free gift that's given not only to the children, but to the society at large. So, and to the anybody that's working in the market who has been mothered, or who has, or who, even mothers who have had mothers themselves and are working in the market. There's a flow of gifts that go into the pockets of the capitalists. So that's the way I look at it. And so there are gifts flowing through our economy that we don't see, but that uphold the whole economy.
Thanks, Jen. You know, when Liliana spoke the question, I was thinking, you know, it triggered my notion about this word in Tagalog called kapwa. And the whole, Tagalog is a Filipino language. And I've mentioned that word in these salons periodically, because it's, the word itself means self in the other. So the culture that I come from, the language itself fixes and orients a relationship to other, that I cannot be myself without another. And from that place of kapwa and this notion of mothering, there is mothering is not done by itself. And in the English language, we separate all of the categories of what mothering is, all the different things that a mother must do, have their own noun, verb, and those things are often not recognized as mothering. And what you're doing, and what Genevieve is doing, and what Heidi is doing is centering this notion of mothering. And then I agree. Jen talks about epigenetics, that, you know, mothering is an adaptive, must be adaptive. We have to adapt to the environment. Epigenetics is about how we learn from the environment. We have genes where we have, you know, what might be considered instinct, that we do have as mothering instincts that come up. But mothering, we have to learn mothering skills as well. I don't think that we can just have mothering coming from, you know, ancient memory, because otherwise it wouldn't be appropriate for what we're doing. Now, every child, raising a human is requires the same fundamental skill sets. We have the same basic needs. So, you know, our human species hasn't changed in 30,000 years. So we know that there are basic elements that are required for appropriate mothering of a child to raise a healthy, developed, participating human. And that requires good mothering. So those are my thoughts about that. So Jen, do you have anything else you'd like to say? Or
not really. I think that the discovery of early childhood by academia in the last 50 years or so has been really important, and also the aspect of epigenetics, because it actually shows what mothers do. Even if the focus is on the children, it does show what the mothers do that has been kind of in the shadow for centuries and centuries. And now we see that the interactions between mothers and children that take place in this gifting, unilateral gifting mode, that is the basis of basically everything that we're doing. It's in many different modes and many different aspects of life, like language and metaphors of traveling. And so there are just so many aspects of it that I've been working on a lot and that are fascinating to me, but I can't really tell them right now because they're would take up too much time. But anyway.
Lisa or Heidi, do you have any more you'd like to add to this before we go to the next question? Okay, great. Judith, do you have something for us?
Your programs are awesome. And I wonder what would happen if a mother who did have a partner, either a male or a female partner, or a woman who was taking care of an aging parent, or even a single dad, what would happen if one of them came to you and said, gee, I would really like to be part of some of your programs?
We generally, have maintained that only single mothers can be members. However, we welcome volunteers, we welcome supporters, we welcome ideas from our community. But at this time, for the Motherful Collective in Columbus, Ohio, it's primarily just for single mothers. So some mothers who, like, for example, started in the collective, like myself, I'm remarried. And I'm still in solidarity with single mothers, obviously. I am still a part of Motherful. And other mothers who have married also are grandmothered in. But as far as new members, generally, that's not something we've done as of yet.
Yeah, but on Sundays we have our open house, and people that come that support. We've had single dads call us. We've helped them find resources. We've shared our diapers every week. We share anything that's left over with the community, and if they any supporter that comes in volunteers, they can get food too. So we're never just turning our back. We're always supporting.
Wonderful. Yeah. I think it's a challenge because many of the other resources are really focused on families. There's a lot of resources for families. And so the fact that you can point them in a direction is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes people, when they are stressed out, they can't resource, they can't think. And it's just giving information and inspiring them to look in that area is very, very helpful. So thank you for that. Yeah. Okay, Liliana.
Yes, I have two questions. The first question has to do with the stigma of being a single mother. I am from the 1900s and you guys are from the new generation. Is that still going on, or is more acceptable? I just figured that things have progressed where you will be accepted, but maybe not, huh? And then the other question is there an issue with, Jen sometimes encounters issues with the maternal gift economy because feminists don't kind of have an issue with the mother concept. And so those are the two questions that I have.
Yeah. The first question you had, can you repeat that, Liliana? Sorry.
Yeah, is there still a stigma for being a single mother? Like in my generation, it was not something that was appreciated very much. And so I
Oh,
was
yeah.
wondering if things have changed.
I guess I'll go because it's a yes. The stigma is still there. Unfortunately, from the Reagan era, the welfare queen trope is still alive and kicking, and that's why we address that specifically. Especially if you go see any single mom's content that's sharing on any social media, the hatred, the misogynoir, it's horrendous. And so yes, we strive again to combat those stereotypes and stigmas in everything that we do. And it's definitely alive and kicking. Yeah. Do you want to speak to that, Lisa?
It's alive and kicking, but it definitely doesn't hold us back. And inside of social media now, you see single moms and you also see their strength and power.
Mhm.
So we try inside of our marketing to locate different stereotypes, not stereotypes, but stigmas that come up and touch on it. But it's out there, but it's definitely not, we don't feel that it's holding us back.
Right. And to add to that, like the myth of the single family unit, the heteronormative single family unit has always been that just a myth. When you're talking about, I think it's a 60% divorce rate now. And in our Franklin County, the statistics from our community action partner, the statistics of single parent homes in our county is 60% single parent homes, primarily single moms. So
Yeah.
the majority of parents parenting are single. And so this whole idea that you're supposed to be married as a mother, it doesn't exist. It's not real. Which is why we say the future of motherhood is collective. And so but those stereotypes and stigmas still exist. And yeah, we see single mothers as the most powerful, most innovative, most resilient, most incredible people. And that's why we hire single moms. That's why we pay single moms. That's why we love single moms and we lift them up.
Yeah, but there's so many more people that look at it like that's not true. That's not true. So that's growing too.
And to the second question about feminism, feminists and motherhood.
Mhm. I would say again, like I mentioned in the beginning, that there's an invisibility. There's an invisibility that mothers experience, in my opinion, an invisibility, and I think Jen spoke to that. And unfortunately, that also exists within the feminist movement. However, I think that Motherful is more aligned with the Black feminist ideologies and philosophies, and Indigenous feminists, and feminists of the global South majority. And we're also really more aligned with womanism in a lot of ways too. So I feel like it's primarily white feminism that is often overlooking and antagonizing mothers of color. And so we are aligned with those who see us and appreciate us. And when we experience rejection, we just see it as protection, and we keep it pushing, as they say. We just keep going, and we look for the people who are aligned with us, like you all.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Jen?
you.
Yeah. Elisa, do you have anything that you wanted to add to that?
When we hear no, it fuels us. We're just creative and always finding a new way. We're not scared of new ideas. We're not scared of changing directions, and we just take every day with power and strength and keep it going.
Beautiful. Jen, what about you? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the issue is with academic feminists who worry about essentialism and that women are nothing but mothers. And actually, humans are nothing but mothers. We've just gotten, we've gotten distorted into a wrong kind of mentality and economy, and we've made an economy that makes things so difficult for mothers. So actually everyone is nurturing. We're all nurturers, but we are educated to be the opposite of that, especially patriarchal men. And but the whole economy is made to support and to create patriarchal men and patriarchal women also sometimes. So we need to change the economy so that we can bring forward our human mothering ways and save the planet and each other.
Oh, hey, I see my mom just came on. I must have given her the wrong link. Hey, Mom.
I know. I didn't.
This is my amazing mother, Diana Howes, everybody. Welcome, Mom. You came into the panelist view, but you should, as well you should, because you're my amazing mother. So welcome.
Oh, sorry about that.
Welcome, Diana.
Hi, I just got the text, so I didn't realize, didn't know about it earlier, but can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hi, Mom.
Hi.
Hey, do y'all mind if I introduce my mom real quick? Diana Howes. I just want to acknowledge you as my beautiful mother. And one of the main reasons why I have worked so hard to build Motherful and the vision of a matriarchal future. Mom, do you want to share anything about like what it's been like for you to watch us build Motherful?
At times painful. Knowing there wasn't enough money to pay you all. Proud of your stand for mothers and Lisa's stand for food. My vision for the world is that people are in safe and nurturing homes, and food and basic needs being met is certainly a part of that. Your ideas are beyond my scope of experience and beyond what I know is possible, but I'm standing for that they're possible, and letting you all create and declare what you are wanting to cause in the world and your vision. So it's been painful at times because of the funding, and just life can be painful at times, but very proud. My experience has been very proud and amazing that you're both just keep going forward in the face of no agreement so often, you know. There's a saying, you know, face the clouds and see love's face shining through. And I know that you both have some version of that when you're bumped up against no agreement. So that's enough. Thanks for asking.
Thank you, Mom. I also want to share that my mom has been providing hand-knitted items for our single mothers in the pantry for the last few years. And that's a huge hit with the community. Everyone's walking around with my mother's hats and my mother's scarves, which of course is just such a blessing and joy.
Again, everyone in a safe and nurturing home and loved with every stitch along the way.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, welcome, Diane. Okay, let me check in with Judith and see if there's another question she has for us.
When I was on the board of our local women's shelter, one of the things that we paid a lot of attention to was keeping the location secret because of fear of retaliation and violence from the ex-partners of the women that were sheltered there. And I wonder how, if that's something that's an issue for you and how you deal with it.
we have many moms that have came through domestic violence situations and have issues with being tracked. We know who those moms are. They avoid pictures. As far as our location, it is on our website, but we're in close communication with those moms if they need things dropped off. We also work with a lot of partner orgs that are experienced in that direct support, and we all work together. But it has
Heidi?
been
No, go ahead, Lisa.
we've had it to be an issue a couple times, but so we have an app that everybody communicates on. So inside of there, you're able to direct message any mom and have communication. They know about resources and events inside of there. So basically working with our partners for specific, we have a long list of partners. So what's your problem? We can figure it out and connect you with the right support. Like we had a mom who had 6 kids and they all had lice. And so what did you do? We called the lice nanny. She went over there and went in and de-liced the whole family. So whatever you need, we're going to find a way to help and get them supported and move on.
Yeah, so we have found that the majority of single moms that have come through our intake form, everyone has to pass through an intake form. The majority of them, I want to say over 50% have experienced assault and violence. And, you know, for many of them, that's the reason they left their marriage. And so we just know that to be a fact of the population, our population. We ourselves have experienced that. And so we are, you know, it's a fact of life for single moms. And so we're sensitive to it and we address it on whatever level we can. Yeah.
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 Thank you. Thank you both. Let's check in with Liliana and see if she has another question for us.
Yeah, there's a comment in the questions from DM La Fortune, and she's talking about the adoption industry. She said that there's an exploitation of single mothers and coercive practices to relinquish newborns up to $1,200 a month to support adopter baby buyers and little to family preservation. Industry funds anti-choice movements and legal challenge attacks on Planned Parenthood, white so-called feminists who want family and career at expense of neonatal bonding and more. I went to the Supreme Court to fight this, and I was clobbered by the Chief Justice, an adopter at 42 of a native infant, genocide by adoption. I guess she wants to talk about this in relationship with single mothers. If you have any comments about this.
Yeah, we do have a partner organization here in Columbus named Just Choice, and they are an all choice agency. So they support mothers with all the options. I think they call it All Options Agency. And they have decentered adoption over the past few years and come to understand a lot of what DM is talking about. And this is something that I would say we haven't really come up against ourselves or seen. So I'm grateful for the, you know, information and bringing this into light. And like I said, we generally refer to like the Abortion Fund of Ohio and our reproductive justice partners with situations like this. And again, our partner organization, Just Choice, who is extremely knowledgeable and sensitive about these things. So I have seen, you know, people, I've actually had people ask me, do you have any moms who want to get rid of their babies? And I didn't really have anything to say to that. So I think if we were to experience a mother in need of support around whatever her choice is, then we would go to the people who are experts in that and support her in finding that answer.
Thanks, Heidi. All right, Lisa, unless you have anything to add, I'm gonna see if Judith has another question.
Okay, let's see what Judith says. But we work with that great org, and they help us if we do have an issue with adoption. Also, when they have moms that want to make a choice to mom their child, they connect with us, and we support them with mama resources. So we are working in tandem with so many supports here that make it possible.
Beautiful, beautiful. Judith.
We've heard from your mom. I wonder how your children react to all of your activism, and the other children of the mothers in your who are a part of your collective.
You want to start, Lisa? I'm gonna see if Luca can come and talk.
Yeah. So I have 3 daughters, 12, 23, and 30. They are so proud of what's going on here at Motherful and very supportive. My daughter, that's 12, she was in the video. Her just being a part of this has she experiences great gratitude in all different situations. She's learned how to give as a community member. She supports in the food pantry, and she tells everyone about Motherful and just really understands about what we do because she's there all the time. So it's really great that we bring our kids to all of these events and on Sundays, and they support in the garden. We have different kids events too, so they really understand and see, you know, moms come, moms get food and all the resources that we have. So it's really good for the kids. Ooh, there's their twin, Luca.
This is my son, Luca Baston House. He's 20 years old and he's a student at Ohio State University studying urban
city and regional planning. Yeah.
City and regional planning. And so since he's here today, which he usually isn't, I was like, I'm gonna invite him to talk. And he's watched me over the past 5 years build Motherful with Lisa and the other moms. And the question was, how do you feel about Motherful and my organizing work?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, about Motherful, I think it's amazing. I mean, I know I'm biased, but the work that I've seen it do for not just countless individual moms and their children, but the community as a whole, and sort of building up everyone's capacity to care for one another and to care more deeply, I think has something that's really informed me. And overall, my mom's organizing and the relationships that she's built have helped me to understand how to do the work in my own life. I'm a very active organizer on OSU's campus. I've recently founded an abolition-centric organization and have spent the past 2 or 3 years building up my volunteer experience and everything, all as a direct result of the things I've seen my mom do and the ways I've seen Motherful help and empower single moms and their kids. So yeah, I'll keep my answer brief, but I think the work that Motherful does is beautiful and necessary. And at the very least, it's inspired me to make a difference in my communities and continue to build for a better world. But I know that it's done so much more than that for so many other people as well.
But as a child of your mother who is like taken on this huge task in the world, like how do you feel as a personal child? Like, you know, like of a mom who's doing this, like has it like impacted you like negatively, do you think too? Like so feeling like my mom's not there for me, or
I think that it's been something for me to learn from. I think obviously when any parent has something that they put so much time and love and passion into, it's going to be something that takes attention away from children to an extent. But I've never felt in any way negatively impacted by it. I think it's only been, you know, a tool for me to learn from, and you know, show me the things I want to grow into as I continue getting older. I think it's been, I mean, it kind of feels difficult to imagine a life without Motherful personally. I'm mostly out of the house now, but even still, like, I know the serves and the food pantry on Sunday, and I know everything is all the programming is happening. I know Ron gets up in the morning, my stepdad, to leave and go pick up food or do different things. And so it impacts my life and is a part of it in so many ways. And I think it's been nothing but positive to see, you know, my role model pour herself into something that she's incredibly passionate about, because I think it's, yeah, again, it's just been a great example for me. And I mean, I still remember the first program where it was like community dinners for moms, and coming out to those and getting the food and seeing the partnerships that Motherful was able to create was really awesome. And I'd never experienced anything like it. So I thought it was great.
I also wanted to ask you real quick, because this is really interesting. We haven't had these conversations, so I wanted to ask you, because I asked you yesterday, how you had felt, if you had felt like a lot of pressure from patriarchy to like not be yourself. You know, I mean, your father is Indigenous, and you know, I'm white, and you've been raised essentially by a matriarchal mother. By you know, you've said in the past, you've said that your grandmothers are the real VIPs, and you know, Grandma Diana's on the call. She's over there, and she spoke too. So it's a family affair. But I'm curious, like, what we haven't quite talked about like the matriarchy yet, and our plans to take over the world with our matriarchy now. I just wanted to hear you talk a little bit about that, like, how, because you said yesterday that you feel a little bit like kind of outside of the patriarchy, and I wonder how me being a matriarchal mom has like influenced that at all.
Yeah. I've kind of grown up watching, particularly my like male peers, it almost feels like they're performing for like an unseen audience at times, which I would describe as the patriarchy. I feel like they make decisions and go after what they see in response to this judgment that they have for themselves. And I've felt very lucky, I mean, from before Motherful was started, but especially over the past 5 years, that I've never really felt like there was that audience there, that it was like informing my actions and my decision making. I think I think, not to be, you know, too presumptive, I know the patriarchy affects all of us, but I think I really benefited from growing up surrounded by women, by my sister, by you, by grandmas. And I think, again, not to be presumptive, I do feel like you said, I had the benefit of existing outside of the patriarchy to an extent, of being able to explore my gender, explore the roles I want to, you know, inhabit in the world and in my relationships. And I think that's something I see my friends struggling with, and something that I feel very like endlessly grateful that I don't have to contend with. I think if I did, I can see how much more difficult it would be to pursue my passions and to be present for the people I care about. And so I think, yeah, I think I've also, you know, leaned into the matriarchy throughout my life as much as possible.
Thanks, bud. Love you. And that's why we say mothering is revolutionary.
Yes.
Thanks, bud.
Right. Yeah, we have to raise all of our children. You know, I have the notion that children, you know, are sons and daughters. So we have to raise our sons and our daughters to be in matriarchy, and what that means to them, and to be able to use a language that exists outside of patriarchy, or that if we're using words that have a meaning in patriarchy, that they're clarified for those who use it when identifying or using that word in matriarchy, so that they can actually have, you know, oftentimes I think meeting Genevieve, that was the one thing about meeting Genevieve and Heidi and many of the other elders, that they have given phraseology and language to be able to describe a knowing that didn't have references in patriarchal language. So being able to have the benefit of a matriarchal mother, having children growing up in matriarchy, it's so hopeful. And especially, we don't, I think Diane put in my my private chat, the first man on a salon, which is true. We've never had a man on a salon. We've had only women talking about women's leadership and women's issues. But it was appropriate that you bring him in so that you could allow him to use his own words, which is a form of women's leadership, I think, not often acknowledged. You don't speak for another. You make the bridge to allow another human, mostly women who don't get the floor, but in this case, a matriarchal man, a son that you trusted would be able to speak on the fly, and good on him, good on you, but it's really hopeful for the future. That's beautiful. So thank you for including him. Yeah.
Thanks for allowing it on the fly. I'm so proud of Luca and what he's doing in the world, in the city, and especially that he's started his own organization now. And it's just watching him kind of based on his watching me, like come into his own gifts in organizing and working for justice, especially for Black folks in the community, and abolition work is so important. And thanks for indulging me and my mom and my son. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Let me check in with Judith and see if she has anything, any other questions.
I love your logo. It's very subtle, and I wonder if you've gotten any pushback about all the breast imagery.
No, when we were working on our new logo, they were thinking, let's put a heart there. I'm like, no, it looks like CVS. It was just like, no, there must be a breast. So they did, the designers went home and worked on the breast for a day and a half to find the breast. We must do that. So
yeah,
and actually the design firm that did it, they won awards. In the Addies are advertising awards. They won about 3 awards with our brand design.
Yeah.
And they're a big firm here in Columbus. So
I think Judith, I think most people just don't know what to say. I think, there's the logo. If you're not following Judith's question, there's a breast where the O is. In the Motherful logo, and we're really proud of it because we, of course, center that vital, life-giving act of mothering, that many mothers also can't do, and so we acknowledge the sacredness of the breast and mothers in general.
There's also a breast imagery in your scroll M that's your 1-letter logo. Or at least that's my interpretation of it.
Yes, the icon, the M, also has
monogram.
The monogram, yep.
Yes.
Yep. Beautiful. All right, Liliana, do you have another question for us?
Yes, I have another question. Since the need of single mothers is so pervasive, do you have plans to start organizations like this throughout the country or throughout the world? I know this is a big endeavor, but I'm just want to know how this is going to be carried out to other communities. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Our vision is to quote unquote lateralize, I think they call it, but we're just looking for other moms in other places who want to seed their own collective, and then we're going to create the create that possibility with them. So we definitely want mothers who are interested in, creating it themselves, and then we'll come and support them. And in each city and each country that this Motherful movement comes into, we want mothers there to be, taking ownership and self-determination. And we'll give them all the support that we can, including from everything, and we're just kind of, we know that's coming, and we kind of envision perhaps at the 10-year mark, once we've built our housing project, once we've really had time to build our capacity to support, but if it happens sooner, we will be super excited, and we are doing this salon in order to continue to get the word out about what we're doing. Lisa, do you want to speak to that at all?
Yeah, that's definitely one of our goals. We have a lot of moms that maybe have moved from Columbus to other places, so they have the understanding of Motherful, and the vision to start an Atlanta chapter. We definitely want to create chapters. We're at the point where we're redoing our policy, our procedures, and our rules, just to make it to roll out to be what we want it to be around the world. But right now we have a lot of social media, and that in that we are getting more people in other places, and people call us, and it's definitely a buzz, and it's going to happen one day, and we're doing what we can to lead up to that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I can actually see how consulting, when you say lateralize, the one thing that I could see easily that could happen without much to do is that current mother organizations who want to actually really center matriarchy, the values of matriarchy, you could help consult where they could actually transition quite easily into adapting that. Now, the mindset would be really, I think, is always the challenge. Genevieve always reminds us it's the paradigm shift that's critical. That's kind of the critical mass. If you don't have that orientation where, outside of patriarchy, because oftentimes not-for-profit organizations are fixed in the market capitalist economic model. And so all of their thinking is still in that orientation. But again, I just want to say how exciting it is. Very exciting. Really, really.
And I want to speak to that just for a second too, if I may, Letecia, about
yes, of course,
the nonprofit industrial complex, and how there is so much pressure for us to conform to that, which is why we center and lead with the values that we've agreed upon, and also why we're so excited to be connected with Jen's work and Heidi's work, because it's enabling us to really root our, to be able to bring language and voice to those matriarchal values. And we are getting a sense that the more that we can root in those values and really truly build foundation and organization on those, in those values, inside of those values, enveloped with those values, then we can persevere in the face of the capitalist pressure. And that's why we are staunchly have created this non-hierarchical matriarchal organization. And when I first reached out to Heidi Gettner Abendroth after reading her book, I said, hey, love your work, in this email. And I was like, can you connect us to the other matriarchal organizations that you know of? Right? Like thinking, oh, there must be so many of them out there. And I think it was in our first email exchange when she said, I've never heard of anything like what you're doing. And, I was, it was a bittersweet answer, actually, because I was looking for guidance. Come to find out, we are pioneering this organizationally. as far as we know. And if anyone knows, and of course we've been connected to other communities as well, which I saw that, was it Maria? Oh no, Angela Domich was on here. We really want to go see her community. And, we're so excited. That's why we're just over the moon to be connected to you all, because you have those networks of the people that we get to connect with in order to be, continuing our work.
Right. For
A
our
couple
viewers.
Wednesdays ago, you guys said that you might be going through all the different gift economy language for all the steps. Just being on the call with you, you all is helping us to create a plan that we can roll out to everyone. So I appreciate that.
That's great.
Yeah. And
wonderful.
One more thing, sorry, Letecia, I wanted to say too, is that with the values, being so entrenched in the organization, when we share that with others, we're hoping that that will be a way for the paradigm to be shifted. Once we've proven our method,
Right.
once we've completed like the blueprint, which will always be living and breathing and growing. But I feel like those values at the center are going to be key, those matriarchal values.
Yeah. Yes. I think in shifting the paradigm, what often happens, this is where leadership, the training that you're actually developing for your group and your leadership model, oftentimes in organizing, people will automatically default to a hierarchical patriarchal structure. And having been involved in a not-for-profit organization that was forming, the one thing that we recognized at the time was there's an interface, that structure is an interface. They don't dictate how we actually lead.
Mm-hmm.
They have a requirement in a not-for-profit organization that you have to send a report in once a year to the, federal government, and that's ultimately it. Anything else is internal, and you get to shape that. So everything that you do to shape that, as long as you can actually provide the information that's for the federal government, is entirely up to how you lead together. And I want to just applaud the courage that you have of adopting language that is completely outside of that hierarchical structure. On paper, you may have to actually use the words that are required by the federal government, but internally, those words are not necessary, and that can be clear, because I keep thinking about Jen's whole the gift in the heart of language, that words automatically bring in a paradigm. And so when you use a word like marketing, marketing itself is like the market. So what might be another word that could be used, like message, the messaging,
storytelling, sharing.
Right. So when you're promoting your work or talking about your things, these are the little tiny, just tiny little shifts in consciousness that will help people understand you're not part of that system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, it's
I
wonderful.
wanted to say one thing to that too, because I want to thank you for seeing us and acknowledging that even in the nonprofit space, we are revolutionary, we're radical, we're outside the box, because we've really intentionally had to do that, while also seeking, supports, seeking education. And it's like when things are, because you have to follow a model, right? And the model doesn't exist for us. So we've really had to just dig our heels into what we sense and intuit about this, because we can, you can immediately feel like that's just not quite right for us. And we were I want to just share, in 22, when I had my son, we were sort of on this growth path and getting mentored by other organizations, and there were things about it that just didn't feel right to us. And we actually ran out of money before I came back from my maternity leave, and as an organization. And that's when I said, you know what, we just need to double down on this matriarchal model, because this stuff doesn't feel right. Even though we're being told like we should do this, we should do that, it just didn't feel right. And that's when I spoke to Heidi on the phone for the first time. She agreed to be a thought partner for us. And we also shared with her our Matriarchs Council idea, which had come out of sort of really deep reflection around the book Societies of Peace, and how do we not only build this collective here, but how do we impact and be a part of this mothers rising around the world, and the divine mother rising right around the world? How do we put our mark on that and really enhance the lives of mothers, period, and children and everyone? Because we know that as Heidi says, you know, there is no future without the matriarchy, not one I want to live in.
That's right. And I'm going to quote Zuzana Budapest, who says there's only two kinds of people in the world, mothers and their children. And the children are all kinds of people, right? So when you center mothers and their children, you're centering the world. You're centering all humans. So, you know, this is, I think, a testimony to the right time, you know, the right connections, the synchronicities. And I'm looking at the clock. It's been such a wonderful experience to have you with us. And I love the fact that your whole, like your family, it's a family affair. It was just so beautiful that synchronistically your mother popped on, and that we had a question that your son was there, that he could pop on, that we could see a living example of what can happen when you live deeply in your values, that you can live these deep values, you can live matriarchy, the maternal gift economy, and flourish, thrive, and revolutionize the world. So I'm really, really excited. I want to thank you. And before I ask for your parting words, I wanted to see if Jen had anything she wanted to say. And yeah.
I just wanted to thank you for coming and giving us this beautiful example of how to change things peacefully and without any violence or any destruction of one another or the world or anything. This is the way to go. It's not by making war. It's by making children, happy children, and happy mothers and fathers too. So satisfying the needs, because that's how you have satisfied so many needs at different levels for a whole lot of people. And that's the way to go. And that is the gift that you're giving, and the needs of the audience and of other people of the present, because they have a good example. You've satisfied the need for an example as well. So thank you so much.
Wonderful. So Heidi and Lisa, do you have some last words you'd like to leave with us? There's a lot going, let me just say, there's a lot going on in the chat. So those of you who might have put questions and comments into the chat or the question Q&A, our speakers will be getting a copy of the chat. So okay, so you can read it later on, and then they also get a list of all the registrations, the emails. So if they can identify you by your email, they'll be able to respond directly if they need to. So go ahead, Lisa. Sorry to interrupt you.
I just want to say thank you to everyone, and we're just so happy to be a part of this community. Every Wednesday we're like, oh, we have to have our call with, we call you guys the grandmas. We have to have our call with the grandmas. Like, one of us has to be on the call. And so we always make that a point. And I just want to express my gratitude to Heidi. Like, I've never met anyone that we're like great partners together. And we work so good together, and I'm so appreciative of her mind and her wisdom and her creativity. Right now she's, you know, she has the back injury, but we're pushing through. Miss Diana made a little desk so I can go over there and work with her. Yeah, so we're on the front lines, and you know, I love Heidi so much. So giving you much love. Amazing.
Oh, thanks, Lisa. Don't make me cry again. Lisa, yeah, same to you. I mean, we just could not do this without each other. I could not do this without you. And thank you for your patience as I go through this injury. And yeah, we just keep adapting together. And Lisa's just the most brilliant, most, you know, innovative, creative person I've ever met, really. And just the fact that, you know, the powers that brought us together, it's like a perfect partnership. We've really benefited from this. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking like, wow, what is Lisa to me? She's like my like left hand, right hand. She's like my sister. Like sometimes I don't even see her. It's just like we're just like going together. We're just like walking together, you know, moving and I, you know, and just I just appreciate her so much. And I just wanted to say that, you know, wherever you are, please uplift a single mother. Please give to a single mother. Please tell her you see her, because single mothers are suffering, and they're struggling, and they're isolated, and you know, have a lot of loneliness, and many of them are, you know, just barely surviving. So call your mom. We always say that. Call your mom and then donate to Motherful. You can find us at motherful.org. There's a donate button on the side, really simple. And looks like we got 1 minute. So I just wanted to share our anthem. We love you. Our anthem, When Mothers Lead, the tune, if you want to think about a verse for it, I had a vision of a million mothers marching on Washington singing this song. And it goes, when the mothers lead, there'll be peace on earth. When the mothers lead, there'll be peace on earth. When the mothers lead, peace on earth. When the mothers lead, when the mothers lead, when the mothers lead. So you could be thinking about your verses, and we'll sing it together in that march one day. And find us on podcasts everywhere, When Mothers Lead. You can hear that song again there. And we just love you so much. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Letecia. Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Liliana. Thank you, Diane. Thanks, Mom, for coming. And yeah, please support us.
Beautiful. Well, we want to thank Heidi and Lisa for joining us today. And yes, Diane and Liliana and Mom. We are so glad. We are so glad that you just popped out. It was fabulous to hear your story. And always, Genevieve, thank you so much. And for all the women of the International Feminists for a Gift Economy, honestly, it is with your long view vision and your words, your hard work on, you know, on the front lines for many years. We just thank you for supporting all of the work that you, for the supportive work that you do. Thank you for each of you who take the time to watch this video, either as a recording or joined us in this room. The recording is going to be available at our website, maternalgifteconomymovement.org. If you have any other questions or comments, please feel free to send them to us directly at maternalgifteconomy@gmail.com. And I just want you to know how wonderful it is to spend every other Saturday in this room with thought leaders, inspiring words. And in 2 weeks, we'll have another. It'll be our Salon number 61. If you haven't already signed up for notifications, please do so at our website so that you can be notified. We'll have something very exciting for you. And I just want to make note that early Monday morning, about 3 o'clock Central Time, is a full moon eclipse. And send out all of your good wishes. We think that eclipses just add energy, heighten energy to whatever it is you want to send out. The moon's going to be full, so send out your good wishes. And I just want to thank everyone, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. So take really good care of yourselves. Happy spring, everyone. And we'll see you in this room on April the 6th. Take good care, everyone. Bye for now.
Thank you.